Hey VC, what's up? It's me, yours truly. I am back to post a quick video here. This is going to kind of be a quick little piece I want to share. I am going to do kind of an update video here pretty soon, but I wanted to wait until a couple other things kind of came in, so I'm going to hold off on that. I got some stuff from Sid that I want to make sure I kind of share and give her a big thank you, and a couple other things. But like I said, I want to kind of wait till I get a few things in to do a video to kind of share all that. But one thing I did want to share really quick was, as I kind of mentioned a video ago, or one or two videos ago, when I shared my Black Sabbath box set, that's one thing I'm really getting into right now. A lot of thanks to Robert Z is CD box sets, and I've actually been selling off a lot of my individual CDs and kind of using that to purchase these box sets. Matter of fact, over the past few weeks, I think I've probably sold over 100 CDs out of my kind of individual CD collection, and because I've been purchasing these other box sets. So I just want to kind of go through and share one of them with you really quick. One of my favorites that I've gotten in so far, which is this U2 box set. As you can see there, it's the complete edition, 1976 to 2012. Sometimes it's kind of hard to believe U2's been around that long, but basically it's just kind of all that stuff. I mean, that kind of gives you an idea about the albums that are on there. Okay, and you're gonna have to forgive me here too, because again, I don't have the editing software, so I'm kind of winging this in one take with no edits. You know, it comes with a little box that slides out on the side just like that, so it gives you an idea about the packaging. And then what I did was I went ahead and laid out all the CDs over here. So this kind of gives you a bit of an idea about what's included in that box set, which is a really nice set. I mean, this has been one of my favorites so far. You know, they're all kind of on the, you know, thin kind of mini LP side, and I only took out one here. I didn't want to go through and do all of them, but as you can see, even in kind of comparison to the size of the CD, those covers are a bit bigger. You know, so it's kind of bigger than your standard CD cover. But it's really interesting because on each one of these, even though it has that bigger outer cover, the original insert for the CD is included in every single one. So you do get kind of the original, you know, artwork and lyrics and, you know, whatever else that came with the original CD is included inside of each one. So that's kind of nice. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of, in my mind, working on one of the things I like so much about the vinyl, which is of course the, you know, bigger artwork and things like that. I mean, you may not think that's significant, but it's enough that when I pulled out the set, I thought, you know, hey, you know, it's kind of cool. The artwork is just a tad bit bigger, but it definitely makes it feel a lot bigger than your typical CD, which is kind of neat. But anyway, all the CDs are different too. You know, some have like the original, just kind of silver, you know, island CD. Like for example, you know, I pulled this one out a little bit. Sorry for the close up there. Again, like I said, I don't have the editing equipment, so bear with me. So you can kind of see, you know, that has the silver island. You see U2 Boy there, and again, all you can't leave behind has a, you know, it's kind of an image on the front of the CD and so forth. So again, it kind of varies. Let me set this over here to keep it safe for a while. Kind of varies from CD to CD, but I'll just kind of go through it really quick here again and share with you. I'll set this one over here. Share with you each one of these really quick. So here's the first one here, which is U2 Boy. You know, obviously their early release. Then you go into October. And then U2 War, which is one of the first albums that I really started to get into U2. I'm not as fond of those first two, but I think, you know, Sunday Bloody Sunday and New Year's Day, this is when U2 really started to kind of catch on for me. As far as going back in their catalog, it's not the first U2 that I actually experienced. Set that over there too. Then of course you got Under a Blood Red Sky. The Unforgettable Fire, another great piece. And of course, you know, you have stuff like Pride on here and a few other great songs. So that's a classic. Wide Awake in America. Again, not one of my favorite U2 albums, but at the same time, it's still U2. So, and I think like a lot of people, especially those of us that kind of came up in the 80s, this was really kind of the first album that brought me to U2. Matter of fact, I always give credit to the song With or Without You is one of the first songs that brought me to MTV/New Wave in general. With or Without You and Billy Idol's Eyes Without a Face. Two of the first videos I ever saw on MTV that just totally floored me and really drugged me into the new wave thing. So that's Joshua Tree, of course. Rattle and Hum. This is an album that I love to hate, and I don't know why. It's kind of like there's good songs and, you know, some classic songs, but I never feel good about the album. I don't know why. It's a very weird thing. But of course, classic U2. And some of that might go back to also the way a lot of my friends back in the day took that album in when I wasn't quite on board with it. So I think there might be kind of a little judgmental taste in my mouth about something that happened back then. But then, of course, you have the classic Acton Baby, which, I mean, this is just, you know, great album. A lot of great songs on here, but I think probably The Fly, maybe my favorite song on here. But I don't know, you got Wild Horses, One. I mean, there's some true classics on this album. U2, Sropa here. And this is one, too, I think that usually kind of gets lost in the shuffle. I always remember hearing Lemon a lot, but again, definitely not my favorite album by them, but still a great classic. Then you have U2 Pop. You know, you got Discotheque and a lot of other weird things on that album. And then in the set, they even went and included the best ofs, which is that greatest hits 1980 to 1990. So, you know, that was one of the first U2 albums I ever bought. And then All That You Can't Leave Behind, another great classic with Beautiful Day. Probably my favorite song off of that, which is definitely one of their more mainstream songs off of that album as well. And then the best of YouTube 1990 to 2000. Again, it's kind of a greatest hits. And this is one that probably slipped by me the most. This is just one that I never really caught on to. And quite frankly, until I got this set, I had never listened to this album from front to back. There were a number of songs on here I'd never heard before. So, I mean, Vertigo was kind of the one song that I had heard. But other than that, it was a completely new experience listening to this album just a couple days ago, which was kind of cool. And then, of course, you have U2, 18 singles. And again, just kind of, you know, greatest hits on here. Again, what that boils down to. And then, last but not least, Horizon, which has... You know, I really didn't catch on to this album when it first came out, but after watching that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame 25th anniversary concert, the song Magnificent just somehow clicked with me after seeing them perform it live there, and this really kind of became an album that I liked. Because, I mean, literally when it first came out, I was almost disappointed that there was a U2 album out that I didn't like enough to buy. But, I don't know, for whatever reason, that song caught on after seeing them perform, and now it's actually one of my favorites by them. But, so anyway, that's kind of the CD set right there. And again, I showed you the box sitting over there. And one other thing that came with it was this poster right here. And, you know, basically, as you can see here, it's just kind of a poster that has all the albums, the discography there. And just to give you an idea about the size of the poster, here, I'll set a CD on one of those. So it's just a tad bit smaller than the CD on each one of the squares there. So that'll give you a little bit of an idea. But that's everything that comes within the box set itself. And especially when you break down the number of albums you get in here, the cost is not bad at all. I mean, very, very cool stuff. I also kind of noticed too that most of these were, people that were selling them were located in Japan or China. So, I think you pretty much have to order them for overseas for the most part. I mean, I'm sure there's some people obviously over here that will have some, but most of the new ones I saw for sale were all from Japan or China. So, with internet these days, doesn't make a difference. But again, just wanted to share that with you, one of my favorite sets here. And I have a number of other things, again, in the mail. And as soon as those come in over the next week or so, I'll kind of give you a snapshot of my overall box set setup. I'll show you a couple of the new vinyl that I've gotten in. And just kind of go from there. But yeah, definitely be prepared for me to be sharing a few more of these, because the box sets are really kind of on my radar right now. I'm really digging these things. So again, Robert Z, I have to thank you, man. For whatever reason, your video just kind of hit a switch, and talking to you about it just kind of, click this switch on, and I'm really, really digging it, man. So, all right, thanks a lot, VC, and we'll talk to you guys soon.